Welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Journey to the Pit with our new series, Next Generation. We have a special guest coming on this evening. He's a part of the new series, Next Generation, where we're talking and highlighting the next generation of game fowl breeders. Brady and Brad, along with his father Brad from Worldwide Game Farm, is going to be coming on with us tonight to just kind of discuss and give us a little insight of his experience as a young game fowl breeder in our sport. Hopefully, y'all guys will enjoy it, which I'm pretty sure y'all will. Just want to make sure the sound and the audio is good. We shouldn't have any problems. I had a little opportunity to talk with Brady and Brad prior to just doing mic check. They both very excited. Brady is also excited to kind of give y'all guys an inside look and inside look on what his experience has been as a young game fowl breeder. He'll talk about some of the things that he's responsible for in the yard, and how his life has been the last couple of years dealing with these game fouls. So give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and bring these guys in. Hope the audio and everything is good and video is good. Guys in the comments, I know you're watching. We always do this. Audio and video is good on my end. Okay, great. I really appreciate that, Lamar, because that's always a question that I have starting these live streams, because sometimes the audio or the video is not always 100%. Especially since we have had this quarantine, these platforms have been overwhelmed with live streaming. So before we start, let me go ahead and say the disclaimer. All the information discussed in this interview is for historical, educational, and entertainment purposes only. None of this information is intended for any illegal purposes, and all opinions are respected of the individual. So, guys, help me welcome Brady and Brad from Worldwide Game Farms. We're going to go ahead and bring them on the screen, and let's get an inside look and watch the passion in this guy's eyes and the pleasure in his smile. Talk about his life as a young game fowl breeder. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring these guys on. All right. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I see y'all all chiming in. So all righty. Hello. Welcome Brad and Brady from Worldwide Game Farms. How y'all guys doing this evening?
Great.
Doing great,
How are
Jim.
you?
Thanks for having
Doing
us
great.
on.
Great. Well, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And I first want to thank Brady for coming on and taking part and participating in this next generation series. Just to let you know, you're an inspiration yourself, and along with the other young ladies and young men that's going to be coming on to the show. Us being able to sit here and listen to all the young game fowl breeders, man, it brings a lot of memories back. It allows us to reminisce about the days when we came up in a sport, and it's just a pleasure to see that we have young, hardworking individuals that's willing, and ready to put in the work that needs to be done to keep these beautiful animals growing, and keep this sport expanding. So, how we all start off, always like I do every time I bring guests on, Brady, is I always ask, how long have you been in these chickens?
Really, since about a year old, I've been around the chickens. Since my uncle, my family, my cousin Gavin, he's been taking care of all of our chickens. But for the past 3 or 4 years, they've been at my house, and me and my dad have been taking care of them.
Okay. So you kind of been in been around these chickens all your life, and you have relatives in your family and stuff like that that you've been exposed to the chickens, visiting their house and stuff like that. But over the last 3 or 4 years, your father has now started a farm at your guys' location, at your guys' house now, huh?
Yes.
So, so tell me, over the last 3 or 4 years, that's kind of how we'll start. You've been around the chickens down at the house the last 3 or 4 years. You know, how has it been? How has your experience been the last 3 or 4 years? Like, what stuff do you help out there on a farm with?
So every day I go out there, wash all the cups, put water in it, brush water twice a day. I feed it whenever Dad's away. I
Right,
water the babies, feed the babies, feed
right,
the dogs, water dogs, all kinds of things
right.
around there.
All kinds of things. So I know we've been in quarantine. I know we've been in quarantine over the last month, I guess, depending on where you're located, maybe a little longer. So, you know, before you used to deal with the chickens after you got home from school, or did you have to deal with the chickens before you went to school and after? Like, how was it when you was in school?
Whenever I was in school, I would usually get home, then I would get my homework done, then get to the chicken yard and start doing all my work, getting them watered, fed, all kinds of stuff.
Right,
And whenever now I eat my breakfast, then go down and get to work, water them the first time, then later
right,
that evening, around about around 4 or 5, I water them again. And
right,
yeah,
right. So tell me this, Brady. So now you have it's been a big difference, I guess, from the time that you was out on a chicken yard when you was in school. Now you out basing the chicken yard about 10 hours a day now. From the time you eat breakfast to probably dinner time now, it's always something out there that you have to do, huh?
yep. There's always something out there that needs to be worked. If it isn't
Right,
perfect, it still got to be done. Whether it's building more pens, helping
right.
water them, feed them, get
Hmm.
more, collect eggs, all
Hmm.
kinds of stuff.
Hmm.
Always
It's
work to be
all
done.
always work to be done. So Brady, so tell me this. It's a lot different from what you see now being on quarantine to what you seen when you were in school. It's a huge difference. Like, have you seen more? Have you been able to appreciate or understand why y'all guys and why your father has been doing so much with the yard now that you out all day long and see what these chickens got to deal with?
Yeah, it's like I'm on a whole new perspective now. Like I see
Right.
the heat that they feel all day, or the cold on some days. Like really, why they need this water and feed,
Hmm.
and why they need this work.
Hmm. Right, right. So you got a whole different perspective now that you're out there, and you understand why your father put in so much work to make sure that those chickens is right. Because obviously he understands what they got to deal with throughout the whole day, but you really never had an understanding until the quarantine happened, and you had to get out there all day long. You really got a good understanding of why, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. I figured that. So it makes you understand how important it is not to skip days doing anything, huh?
Yeah, you can't just say I'll water them tomorrow. Yeah, you can't do that. That's like
Right,
the person. That's like your mom saying I'll feed you tomorrow.
right. Well, you know what, Brady? That's a really good one because you put that in clear perspective. Believe me, I think that was probably the best analogy that you could have used. Is saying that I can't wait till tomorrow to feed my chickens. That'd be just like my mom saying, "I'll feed you tomorrow." Well, you know what? Listen, Brady, that's one for the record books right there. I think you're gonna go down in history for using that analogy. That's
My
a
dad
good
says I'm not funny.
Yeah.
no, believe me, that was a good one right there. But you know the funny thing about it is just so true. That is so true, and it is amazing that someone at your age can understand it from that perspective. You understand how important it is that an animal needs that food, needs that water, needs that care, and you just can't say, "Oh, I'll get to it tomorrow," because it, I'm sorry, you was going to say something. Oh, okay. Well, no, and what I was saying was that it's amazing that somebody that young, you know, um, see things from that perspective. Because again, everybody don't feel that way. Some guys will say, you know what, just go ahead and leave it tomorrow. They not going to die. Tomorrow's not a big deal. But it's amazing that you had that perspective. Like, no, me not feeding and water my chickens is just like me not eating and drinking water for the day. And I believe, and I say, keep that mindset right there. I mean, keep that mindset, and because that is a basis for success. When you cherish these animals just like you do yourself and said, no, I can't let them go without food and water. I mean, how would I like it if I didn't go without food and water? So believe me, that character, you might not notice it because it's probably second nature to you. But believe me, that characteristic right there will carry you a long ways in this sport. So So, you kind of got, you let us know you're out there, you feeding, you're watering every day. You got a totally different perspective on how things were when you was in school, and now you out there all day long. Um, now you out there all day long. Does it seem like did you realize it was so much work?
No, what happened was whenever I started doing this, I'm like, nah, this is gonna be easy. I have done this before up at the
Right,
relative's house and all that. Like, this is
right,
real quick and easy. Well, the
right.
relatives don't have 100 chickens at their house.
So you said when you get out there, it didn't turn out to be as quick and easy as you thought, huh?
Mm-mm. Like, especially because it's what, so yeah, might even be just as important as making sure they have water every day, making sure they have clean water every day. Yeah,
Right.
I see it as if I wouldn't drink out of that cup, then they wouldn't either. So I make sure that thing's
Wow.
really.
That's right. That is amazing. That's amazing. Believe me, man. Like I say, it's an inspiration to hear a young man speaking like this. Because I'm telling you right now, I don't know if it's something that your father instilled in you or something you adopted on your own, but it seems like you are understanding the principles of the 362. It's all about giving these animals the best care that we can, not using no excuses. I'm tired. I got off of work late. I don't feel well. I'm telling you, Brady, those characteristics and philosophies you have is going to take you a long way in this sport, a long way. So you out here, you feed, you make sure they have fresh water every day. You make sure they got feed every day. Have you had a chance to deal with the chicks? Have you had a chance to deal with the little biddies and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've moved the chickens from the incubator to the brooders, from the brooders to the outside where they can free range, except whenever we got to put them back into their cage at night. Like, all
Right,
kinds of things. Watering them,
right,
feed them, make sure they're
right.
safe, watch out for them.
Right, right. So Brady, tell me this: is there anything special y'all do at night? To make sure that y'all biddies are safe because it's so with sometime we're free ranging in the later parts of the day. In the evening time, it gets a little dangerous. But is there any particular things that y'all do to make sure y'all biddies are safe? Do you have them in a special place or anything like that?
Yeah, all of them have a special pin where they can go inside, and it's designed where nothing can get up in there and get them. And we make sure that
Hmm.
they can't get out of that. We got like owl statues that make some that make some animals stay away. We got dogs
Right.
protecting them, all kinds of stuff.
Right, right, right. So you got a special little brood box or something that you make sure all them biddies get up in at night, so they ain't nothing running around there having a feast on while you in there sleeping.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Wow. So you understand. So you understand that if you do leave them out when they too little, that something can come and get them at night, huh?
Yeah, they can either do that, or they can, if you don't feed them for a little while,
Right.
like sometimes you have to feed them in the morning instead of the night, since if they get too hungry, they'll start wandering around looking for food, and if they're far enough away, they won't find their way back to the box.
Wow, that's a good one there, Brady. That is good. So you said you keep an eye on those biddies too to make sure they don't get too hungry, because you understand if they do get too hungry, they're gonna want, which I mean, it's gonna be just human nature. If they're hungry, they're gonna keep searching for food, so they're gonna go further away and further away and further away. And you said that if they get too far away, they're not gonna be able to make it on back home, huh? So you make sure they that food is where it belongs.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So tell me, Brady, how comfortable? Like, tell us a little bit about like your first experience, like when you started to handle. Your father had you handle either a rooster or a hen. How was your first experience like handling a rooster?
So the first time I was handling a rooster was the first time my dad came up to me. He said, "We're gonna spar these roosters. Come on." I'm
Uh-huh.
like, what is he talking about? So he taught me
Right,
how to
right,
spar, and then I picked the rooster up after a round of it, and then one of them pecked me. I'm telling you, I let that thing go just out of my instincts. bouncing around the barn, trying not to get pecked again.
You said when that rooster first pecked you, it was a shocker, huh?
Yeah.
Uh,
So
he threw it and ran.
he threw it and ran, huh?
Yeah.
So so Brad, I know that was I mean what went through your mind, when he first threw threw the chicken, when it pecked him and threw the chicken, like what was going through your mind?
Well, I mean, the first thing obviously is catch the rooster. You know,
Right,
so we had to get that call, and then I laughed. And
right,
when I got that, I laughed. He didn't like me laughing at him, but I said that's part of it. So I had to just teach him a little bit how to handle, hold the rooster a little bit better, so it wouldn't have a good his arm open for him to peck him or anything like that. So he started wearing
that's
long sleeves and all that kind
right,
of stuff, which we all do,
right.
to try
That's
to
right.
prevent it. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty funny in the moment. He didn't think so, but I did.
so
I thought
so
about
so
I thought about getting one of those like realistic Infinity Gauntlets from the Avenger movies. Since you can't bite me, I have a metal glove on.
I, no, believe me, Brady. I know how you feel because that bite sometimes is so hard. You're right. It make you want to put on some type of steel type of shield on your forearms or something. So so Brady, tell me this. Did when you had him, did you before your father showed you the proper way to hold a chicken, did you realize that it was a proper way to hold a chicken?
No, really, I was just holding it by its wings, just like my instincts of how I'm gonna pick something up. A
Right.
living thing. But then my dad taught me how to hold it with its hold my fingers between its legs and stuff. Make it to where it can't run away, like can't fly,
It's-
nothing like that.
right. So Brad, you had to kind of, after that incident, you kind of showed him the proper way to kind of hold the chicken, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it becomes second nature to us. I've held thousands of chickens. So it's just
Right.
one of those things like you don't think about, right? You just assume that they know it, but really they don't. My dad had to teach me, and so I took, after that, I started showing him, okay, now I got to teach you. So I'd show him, the proper way to do it.
Right. So Brady, you kind of comfortable now with handling the roosters, huh?
Yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable than I used to be. I used to be like, no, Dad, I'm not sparring again.
Yeah,
Now it's
yeah,
not that
yeah.
bad since now I know that they're kind of tame. Like I know the roosters now better since I've spent time with them and
Right,
how to handle them and stuff. I know that it's not gonna hurt that bad, even if they do peck me. So now I'm
right.
like, when we gonna spar again? I want to watch them spar.
Right. So now you're more comfortable with just handling the roosters on an everyday basis. Um, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I always like to hear that story because I think, everybody's story is different when you ask them, when did you first get pecked by a rooster? Because I don't think anybody, if you've never been pecked by a chicken, I don't think anybody realized how bad it hurt. I mean, it actually hurt. You know, you get a tolerance. You build up a tolerance after you handle, hundreds of chickens and get pecked and all that. You build up a tolerance, but I think it's a shocker. Well, at least to me, it's a shocker how hard a chicken bites at the beginning, especially when they bite you on your soft meat, like your forearm, the inside of your forearm, around your wrist, on the back of your hand. That's all tender. That's all tender skin. And sometimes you got to look at the chicken and ask, like, man, is this thing really trying to hurt me? Because man, he's like bite me like he's a piranha or something. So that's unbelievable. um
Don't even
so
get me
so
started whenever they'll hit your leg with their spurs and stuff.
right.
That's real pain.
Yes, that is real pain. And I tell you, that is something, even to this day, like I don't just walk straight up to, if I when I go to visit a farm, I don't just walk straight up to somebody's rooster because exactly what you said. Some of the roosters will lay those spurs into your leg, and I promise you, they'll make you regret that you walked into that circle. So I always ask, just like with somebody's dog, hey, how is this rooster here? Why don't you grab him first and then give him to me, and then I'm comfortable with him because, all these roosters, some of these roosters are like Rottweilers on a string. Like you step in a circle and they'll blast you, and I'm telling you, they really strong. They might only be 5 pounds, but man, they hit like they 60 pounds. So it's a big difference. So tell me, Brady, you're out there now over the last 2 years. You learn how to feed, you learn how to water. Since the quarantine, you understand how important it is that these birds have all the care that they need because they got to deal with those elements, all throughout the day. So you understand how important the water is. You understand how important them having feed. You have to be the protector over the biddies. All of those things are extremely important. And that's is this all stuff you've been learning since the quarantine, or this is just basic stuff you've been learning ever since your father started acquiring chickens at your house?
I've been learning this like slowly but steadily since we started getting them. Like my dad, we were sparring them that first time, got pecked. Now
Mhm.
I'm more cautious, paying more attention, all kinds of stuff.
So tell me this, Brady. Like, what is one of the things that needs to be done on the yard, but you don't really like to do? I know Gianna was saying she don't really like to clean the jump boards that she got clean every day in a cock house, but she know it has to be done, so she do it. So what is something that you don't really like to do on a farm, but it got to be done?
Well, whenever Dad's away at the shows or on the road or
Right,
something, I
right,
have to feed for
mhm,
him, and I don't really like feeding. That's why I prefer watering. Since
right.
feeding, you have to carry around that big 60-pound bucket.
Look,
That's right.
when I started getting chickens, we started talking about it, and he said, I prefer to water. And I said, you and
Right.
I are going to be a good partner because I'd much prefer to feed, and you can water. So
You
we make a pretty
hey,
good team.
Eh, that's a perfect team. You know what? You're not the only one. I know I went to a big farm and one of them was like, the spouse like, I don't do no watering. He's like, do you feed it? He's like, I don't do no water. I do feed. I do not do no watering. I'm just like, huh? And now you say you the same thing, huh? You don't want to be bothered with that watering, huh?
I mean, I will. I had to my whole life. To me, it's just
Right,
easier to feed. The easier of the two is to feed. And, we
right,
feed, a couple 5 gallon buckets full a day. So,
right,
you can't make a million trips with a half a bucket, right? You gotta
right,
fill your bucket up. And for him,
right.
it's heavy. He doesn't like to do that. So it just works out that
Exactly.
way. If he,
That's right.
I give him days off from time to time. I do water chickens, but I would much rather prefer the feed.
Right. So that works out perfect for you, huh, Brady?
Yeah, I agree. The feeding is it's a lot quicker. Like I can get that done
Right,
in 5 minutes, but
right,
it's annoying. Watering might take an hour, but I don't even have to pay attention. I can my
right.
mind can be somewhere else.
Right, but
And
you going through your routine. You know your routine. You get out there, you clean them bowls, you fill them up, and all that. So that's good. So you got your routine. So tell me this, Brady, have you had to like establish a routine since you out of school now? Before you was in the yard, 2 3 hours. Now you out in the yard 10 hours, all day long. Have you kind of established a little routine on all the stuff that needs to be done, or you kind of rely on your dad to kind of walk you through what needs to be done for the day?
well, now I've kind of got a schedule. I wake up, I eat breakfast, I go on a workout with my mom, and then I
Uh-huh.
go out, I water the chickens for the first time, get my
Uh-huh.
schoolwork done since I still have to do it over the online, get all
Right.
that done, watch some TV, go out,
Right.
water the chickens again, then
Right.
come back, eat dinner, then play with
Right.
my PS7 on the PS4.
Gotcha. So you're out and about all day. So tell me, has since the extra time that you've been spending out in the yard, has it gave you like more passion and more love for the birds now that you're spending a lot more time out there with them?
Yeah, I definitely feel a different way about them. Like I know what they're feeling now. Besides this
Right.
one rooster that always tries to peck me every time I get his water.
Right. Right.
but But yeah, I understand them more now. Like I know that how much they need the water, how much they need the feed,
Right,
protection.
right.
I understand them.
Right. So now that you're out there in the yard, you got a lot better understanding when you were just out there after school. Now you out there all day long. You can completely read them a whole lot better than you could when you was in school. So that's awesome. So listen, this is what I would like to do also too, because we pushing on 30 minutes already. I know it don't seem like it's that long, but we already almost at 30 minutes. But what I would like to do too is just shift it a little bit to Brad. And kind of talk to you a little bit about, how has things been with Brady out of school now, being out in the yard full time and not away at school? Like, how has this affected you?
I mean, we've always had a pretty close relationship.
Mhm.
But to be able to share the passion with him and see him grow and develop as far as what he understands about the chickens, it went from just saying, hey, have you watered the chickens today? And I always go through and double check, but also, teaching him, when you're watering, pay attention to the roosters, right? If there's one not acting right, if one's, let me know. I might miss it, and he
Right,
started, paying attention to how they act, and he really does have, a passion for it. And for me, when we started, I've been in chickens my whole life. My dad had chickens, my uncles had chickens. I grew up with them. And what I really wanted was, to teach him some life lessons as far as, hard work pays off. You
right,
get out of something what you put into it. So,
hmm
we practice that here. We work very hard at it. We have
hmm
pride in our farm. We have pride in the bloodlines we have, and to see him, he's taking those lessons and he's applying them to the rest of his life. He just recently got elected as a senior patrol leader of his Boy Scout group. He's learning to set goals and reach those. He's always been an
right,
excellent student, all A's. And what really, earlier in the year, I had the pleasure of taking some roosters of one of my friends
okay,
and training them. And
mhm,
there were some spangled roosters, and we don't have spangled chickens here. So when I first pulled that first spangle out, his eyes were this big. He said, "Dad, what kind of rooster is that?" And ever
right,
since then, he's not stopped talking about spangled chickens. And the other day we were talking about it, and he actually came to me and said, "Dad, I want to. Will you give me some spangled chickens? I want to breed my own chickens. I want to develop a bloodline, worldwide Spangles." And to me,
right,
I mean, that's like taking it to another level. What I've been saying to him is not going in one ear and out the other. He's been listening, and
right,
for him to on his own want to breed his own line of Spangles or whatever they are, you know, I'm definitely going to acquire some for him. I've been talking to a few different guys looking around, and for
right,
me, that's a pretty proud moment that he wants to take it on his own to the next level. So he's definitely developing that passion, and I mean, how it is. Once it's in your blood, it's in your blood.
yep.
It's hard to get away from them.
Yep, that is good. That is unbelievable, man. So you said since this time, man, Brady now he done fell in love with them Spangles, and now he wants to do his own line. So I guess when you looked at that, that had to have been an unbelievable feeling because obviously he knows you can't establish nothing in 1 or 2 years. He knows it's going to take years to put it together. So he kind of came up with that on his own. So that just shows you that he planned on being in these chickens for a long time to come.
Absolutely, and he has the vision for it, and he's pretty good at picking out the best roosters. I mean he's
Right,
got an eye for it for his age. He can go out there and show you which ones act the best, which ones look the best. He's got a good eye for it. Especially for his age. When I was his age, I fed and watered and probably hated every minute of it because it was my dad made it a job. For us,
right,
it's something we share together. He truly is my partner. I mean, I have other partners, Blaine
right,
Tackett, Tim Robinson, they're partners here at Worldwide Game Farm. But,
mhm,
Brady's my partner here. I couldn't do what I do without him. He
right,
waters. If I need him to
right.
feed, if I work late or if I'm out of town, he
Mhm.
knows what to feed. He knows how to feed the keep roosters. I mean, he knows it all. And he really without him here, I couldn't do what I do without him.
Right. Right. So Brady, you understand that you're a big aspect of worldwide game farms, don't you?
Yeah, this is a story back a few months ago. Whenever I went on a trip with my beta club at school to the city,
Uh-huh.
um, within the first few hours, I texted Dad, "I miss trees, I miss dirt, I miss chickens."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, he got up there at the hotel. It was in downtown. There's all concrete and hotels and streets and cars, and he's not wanting to get homesick. And he texted and said, "Dad, can I come home?" And I was like, well, "What happened?"
I didn't say
Something.
I wanted to
Right.
go home, but I didn't say
So I'm like, "Okay, something must have happened." He said, "I miss chickens," and I said, "Really?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, I miss the trees, and it's like get me out of this city, basically, like get me back to the country,
I miss
get me,
air.
yeah."
Right. That is amazing. So I guess Brady, we it's safe to say that you gonna be these chickens gonna be in your life for a long time, huh?
Yes. Probably whenever I get
Wow.
older, I can find a spot, then have some in my backyard, front yard, have them everywhere.
That's right. He said have them everywhere, huh? Well, listen, man, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Brady, like I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of present day cockers watching this interview. It's just a pleasure, and it's very inspiring to hear that you talk, hear that you're willing to put in that hard work. You understand the responsibilities. It seems like you have the foundation, the characteristics and the foundation to be successful by understanding how important it is to give these birds totally good care all year long. And now you have developed your own passion separate from your dad. You want to have your own Spangled bloodline, so you're looking at it for the long term. So again, just to let y'all guys know, man, it's a pleasure, and that's the reason. Y'all guys are just an example, and every parent and youth that's going to be coming on here is just showing us an example. It's so much more to this sport than just one aspect. It's multi-dimensional. But sitting here watching y'all two guys, man, a father and son team on a farm, second generation, has just been a pleasure, man. And it's a lot of inspiration. So just so you know, Brady, you inspired a lot of people. You have made a lot of us reminisce about old times. Believe me, they already commenting in this section about when they were your age. So you bring back a lot of great memories. You inspire us because watching and listening to you just gives us an idea that this sport is going to be around for a long time to come. As long as we keep refilling it with young men like yourself and young ladies, we got a future. I mean, that's what I feel, Brad. How about you? You kind of feel the same way?
Absolutely. It takes. I mean, you're right. You have to have the younger people. You have to get them interested. Like a lot of what you talk about. Back in the years ago, people would just hold information, and that's why I really appreciate a lot of what you're doing. You're getting information out there to people, whether they want to use it or not. It's available to them.
Right, right,
And some things might not work for you that work for
right.
me and whatnot.
Mm,
But I can tell you from watching your programs, we watch them together, and I've picked up a lot of different things, and I've tried different things. Some things didn't work for me, but some things I like, and I think
right.
that's really the key to moving this forward is is,
Yep.
is teaching people about really the show is a very small part of what
Yep.
goes on in this sport. And
That's
we have
exactly
to
right.
we have to help the younger people. And it's changing. People are willing to help you more now than ever. And the internet, the Facebook, you can connect with people, talk to them, So I think all those, if we use technology to our advantage, I think it'll definitely help.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, listen, guys, it was a pleasure to have y'all on. Brady, like I say, it was your time to shine. You did an excellent job. Like I say, you brought a lot of us back some 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, depending on. Oh, I see it. Worldwide Game Farm. That's what I'm talking about, man. And you're gonna be wearing that shirt and representing that game farm for decades to come. So listen, guys, it was a pleasure again tonight. Thank y'all guys for coming on. Brad, thank you for allowing Brady to come on and tell us his side of the story. Giving us a outlook on how he look at the game foul, sport as a whole. I really appreciate that for you allowing him to come on the show. And Brady, I greatly appreciate you coming on the show and giving us your inside look. It was a pleasure to have both of y'all guys on. I look forward. Well, Brad, we have already met face to face. Brady, I look for the day that you and I will be able to shake hands and sit somewhere at a poacher show and enjoy ourselves and have some conversation. All right, guys, we're going to
You'll
go ahead and close the
save
show
me
out.
winning the Kentucky.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. I'll
Thanks
be
for
your
all you
biggest
do, Jim.
cheerleader. All righty, listen, y'all have a good night. We'll be talking to y'all soon. I tell you, Brady, a little comedian, man. He's a funny guy. Um, but listen, guys, it was great to have y'all on. I'll be at least talking to y'all guys, and hopefully, I'll see y'all guys very, very soon. Y'all guys have a good night. Stay safe, stay focused, stay positive, and we'll all stay blessed. And I'll talk to y'all guys soon. All right.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for
Thank
everything you
you.
do.
All
Bye.
right. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. Let's see here. All righty, guys. That was Brad and Brady. They came on this evening, and Brady gave us an opportunity to hear about his view. He gave us his view of the game foul culture, heritage, sport, whatever you want to label it or call it. It was very, very awesome to hear him talk. As y'all guys can see, y'all can see the passion in these this next generation. I'm telling you. If we keep providing them with the information, the resource, and the support, they have the ability to take our sport to a level that we have never seen it before. I think right now is we have one of the greatest opportunities in game foul history, or at least in the last 50 years, to make a huge impact on our sport. Because I believe many, many, many of us is really realizing how important it is to set the next generation up. Many of us realize how important it is to share information. Many of us realize that it's enough room for everybody to be successful in their own right. And a lot of us is realizing also too that our biggest competitors are the person carrying that feed bucket. It's not always the person on the other side of a poultry show. A lot of times, the biggest competitor you have is yourself. So again, it's just been a pleasure. We have more of these interviews coming. And I encourage all of y'all guys, like I talked about yesterday and in weeks prior, let's spend our time and our energy highlighting the other dimensions of this sport. This is not a one-dimensional sport. This is not a one-dimensional culture. We need to start highlighting more, take a more of an active role and put more effort into highlighting the young kids, the young men, the young women, the little girls, the little boys, the wives that's supportive. They might not be out there in the chicken yard, but yet they got your dinner plate on the table when you come from the chicken yard. So again, this sport is multidimensional. It is so much more to this sport. The relationships we build, the people that we meet on the road and local. It's all kinds of aspects to the sport besides one aspect that has been highlighted for the last 50 years. So again, Journey to the Pit 362 entails all of that. It entails everything. Journey to the Pit 362 doesn't mean forget about the last three. It just means let's start highlighting all other aspects of the sport besides just one aspect of the sport. The relationships that these parents and the additional bonding that these parents have had during this quarantine, that is an aspect of the 362. That's not done in the last three. This what's happening right now is happening during the 362. It's not happening during the last three. That's why I will keep pushing and hopefully and educating people on this concept of Journey to the Pit 362 is all about the culture and the sport. The better we educate these next generation, the more resources we give them, the next generation, the better impact that they're going to have on the culture as a whole. If they know more, they working hard, they can produce better birds. If they produce better birds, it benefits the whole entire sport, not just their self. So, this movement has gotten a lot of support from people from all different walks of life. A lot of people that were stuck in their ways really starting to understand the concept and understanding why we need to build this sport. And the only way we can do it is the free flow of information and changing our mindset that we have to knock another man down in order for us to be successful, and also changing our mindset to wanting to highlight the other aspects of our sport instead of just highlighting the trophy hanging in our hand. So I hope y'all guys enjoy the show. Come and see me. I guess come back tomorrow. Same place, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have another game foul breeder, next generation 362. Y'all guys will enjoy it like y'all have enjoyed this one tonight and enjoyed the one yesterday. I think this is a great thing. I encourage y'all guys to share it. Also, too, I will be taking all of these interviews and putting them on the Journey to the Pit YouTube channel. So if you want to see all the interviews, you can go over to the Journey to the Pit 362 YouTube channel, and you can watch all the interviews in one place. You don't have to worry about scrolling through my wall or scrolling through Journey to the Pit fan page. You know, you can watch them all on the YouTube channel. But before you go, make sure that you like the Journey to the Pit page and make sure you hit that little bell so you can get notifications. Other than that, again, stay safe. Tonight, you know, it seems like this quarantine is kind of winding down. So again, I hope all y'all guys are staying safe, stay focused, stay positive, and we'll all stay blessed. I'll see y'all guys tomorrow, same place, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Journey to the Pit fan page. I'll see y'all then. Y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye.